company of HMS Rothesay and dignitaries from Argyll, Bute Council, Road and Amenity Services, Achievement Bute, committee and staff of Bute Museum and Rothesay and District Pipe Band, welcome to the unveiling ceremony for the commemorative bench dedicated to the affiliation of HMS Rosy and the town of Rothesay here on Bute. Thanks, guys.
We wish.
Personally, I'm very humbled to have been asked to undertake the dedication speech. Although in retrospect, having been married a number of times, I've quite the experience of delivering speeches. Unfortunately, I just didn't quite get the delivery of a good marriage correct. Aye. Before we go on with the commemoration, I'd just like to give a brief background on how and why we got here today. As a ship's company, we hold an annual reunion in a voted random city within the UK. Last year was Newcastle, where the germ of an idea was born to help out a local charity in Rothesay with a donation. Then a bench was mentioned, and things grew from there. With our shipmates donating what they could towards the bench and charity fund. It's not been an easy progress, with design issues for the bench, various meetings with Ogilvy Engineering at Kilmarnock to finalise our particular requirements, emails, phone calls with our Achievement Bute, and a lot of hard work done in the background with site visits and time put in with Stephen Rooney, Mickey, Kenny Stewart, just Kenny, Mickey, Campbell Alexander, Shuggie, and Chris, the sticky bun. Yeah. However, all came to fruition and we are here today to celebrate both town and ship within the bench. I will now invite Darby Allen, almost 45 years in the Royal Navy. Woo! And Slingerwood. Undertake the unveiling of the bench. Absolutely fabulous, eh guys? Brilliant. I was wanting it pink, but I was voted against. Got your flamingo. I wanted to propeller. That's why you're divorced. I'll carry on now and as some of the crew members were gathered here today to pay homage to the officers. Is there any of them here? No. NCOs, plenty of you arseholes here, and ratings who served on HMS Rosy from her commissioning in 1957 until her paying off in 1988. I could go through how many miles she travelled, what she was armed with. No, so I've decided against it. Just Google it. Shut it, Joe. Just Google it. But basically this is to show appreciation to the people of the town of Rothesay and the Isle of Bute for the warm welcome received during the many visits to the island over the years. And when sometimes I sit and think of it when we're in a bit of chat of on Facebook and things like that, I think back 1957, you know, and the amount of people and the amount of guys that have went through that ship, you know, passed through it on their naval service. There's people probably don't even know about this or the association we have at the moment. And you think about the lives that changed, the lives that went through it, how many people slept in your bunk, and it was worse if you were in it at a time.
Back to the marriage problem.
Anyway, actually I'm ad libbing now, I better get back to this already. So, guys, our names may not be etched in stone, but our legacy will live on through this humble place of rest, a place where stories are whispered, bonds remain unbroken. This bench will stand as a lasting testament to our shared experiences, camaraderie and unwavering commitment to duty. feeling was supposed to take place now. Right, so listen, before we come on, John, you put that off in chapel every Sunday. Before continuing, I'd like to relate a memory I have of our visits to Rosy. It's alright, don't worry about it.
Can actually get done for historical abuse.
Particularly our invitation to take part in the 1983 Highland Games, held at King George's Field, and the idea of our skipper at the time, Commander John Ferguson, to show the good people of Bute a force of Royal Navy and Royal Marine military might working as a team. Basically, the idea was for our on-board detachment, our Royal Marines, to save a damsel in distress from an armed renegade troop of evil no-gooders. What could go wrong? Before I continue this, I've asked a few people about their memories of that, and I've built what I'm going to read round everybody's memories. It's all true. Firstly, we needed a damsel. That role was eagerly volunteered by our PTI jockey Stuart, who isn't here today, thank God. Whom it must be said has played this part with gusto in many parts of the world. It's been said that he had more damsel costumes than Shirley Bassey, and being the PTI, he lived in the Stokers Mess deck, where he would have been able to receive many makeup, nails and fashion tips. Anyway, next we needed a troop of renegade evil no-gooders. These guys have made up from the ship's internal security platoon. Basically, kid-on Marines with brains. I think at least 3 of them are here today. Stu Rankin, Kenny Stewart, and I'm sure Matt McGee was there as well. No. Right. Anybody else make a claim to that?
Yeah, she said
Next, we needed transport for the Marines to do their damsel saving. We've got a Wasp helicopter on board. Maximum payload for that is a pilot, a navigator and 4 passengers. That's what it takes. All good. The next one, the name Wasp is exactly what the helicopter was. Small and fast. So remember that, small. So that's us got all the ingredients for a good show of strength and teamwork. Cut to King George's Field. Said damsel has been tied up at the goalpost upright and is screaming for all his worth, whilst the no-gooders are giving her a right good poke with their sticks and various menacing weapons, much to the delight of the assembled Bute locals and associated dignitaries, some of whom were wondering why the damsel seems not to have shaved that this morning. Anyway, on cue, in the distance, the familiar buzz of the Wasp helicopter is heard coming over the bay and towards the field, albeit a bit sluggish, i.e. not fast, and seems to be dipping and droning all over the place. But Julie arrives, hovering and ready to drop the Marines out doing their slide down the rope act. I'm sure there's a technical term for that, but that's it to me.
Absolutely.
Aye. The Wasp still speaks. Listen, I don't need what I was just saying. So the Wasp still seems to be struggling, and it turns out that none of the Marines wanted to be left out of the limelight and had persuaded Lieutenant Piggott, the pilot, that 7 of them could fit in easily, whilst bristling with more weaponry than Johnny Rambo. The first 3 Marines drop out and the helicopter shoots about 25 feet up the air with a sudden weight reduction, leaving the other 4 limelight seekers airborne. Back to the script. And the Marines take out the bad guys with a lot of blood-curdling screams and rifle rounds. Most of the screams still coming from the Shirley Bassey tied to the goalpost. Anyway, damsel is released and carted off to the helicopter via firearms lift by Marine Corporal Paul Fleming. Shirley Bassey would certainly not have worn the undergarments that suddenly came on show. Damsel is duly bundled onto the helicopter, much to the delight of the crowd, and the good corporal and his privates follow on. Come on, you're getting it. They got it eventually. The gallant wasp crew then attempted to return to the air, and at a giddy height of 25 feet became apparent to Lieutenant Piggott they were in trouble. He screams over his shoulder, "You're going to have to dump her. We're not going to make it." He's still calling Jockey her in a life-threatening situation. And by the way, he came to govern. Lieutenant Piggott was actually from "Oh, type that out. Well done, Johnny." By the time the wasp was hit, by this time the wasp dropped to 15 feet and Shirley is dumped unceremoniously onto the field, and the wasp flies off into the sunset. However, all this commotion and noise has upset the Procurator Fiscal's Doug, which has escaped and is making a beeline for Jockey's blonde wig, which is dangling about his shoulders. Jockey legs out of the field, followed by the Doug. Commander Ferguson is totally bemused, not remembering any of this being part of this. I retired thereafter with some of the lads in the pavilion with a fantastic evening of food, music, dance, and a lovely laugh, and a good time was had by all. You should have put that. As I say, that's one memory of many, I'm sure, of our times at Rothesay. There was one time a young lady's dog actually ran away with my socks, but that's another story.
Oh, wait, with what?
Socks. Aye. We'll move on now with a reading of a short poem written by our own Stephen Rooney, which I think sums up what we are trying to achieve and where some of us journey to in a quiet moment, when we're not getting moaned at. Called The Sea's Whisper. As the waves lap against the shore, this bench becomes more than a painted steel structure. It becomes a bridge. A passage connecting the past and present, ship and shore, sailor and civilian. Nestled now within the charming town of Rothesay, our bench, the town's bench, invites visitor and locals alike to pause, to reflect and remember. For the ships come together here, its sturdy metal frame echoing the strong bulkheads and salt-sprayed steel decks of the ship, and bearing the weight of our memories of rough seas, red-lit passageways during middle watch, and shared laughter echoing across the waves from the deck.
Did you write that in therapy?
I'm an educated stalker, not like you're feeling.
What?
I was hoping I was going to get a couple of tears there, but obviously that didn't happen.
Crying inside.
Right, we'll close the memory with a short memoriam and 1 minute silence for absent friends no longer with us. We all know who they are and how they'll be missed by us and family. In memoriam, may this commemorative bench stand as a silent sentinel, a place of solace, reminding all who sit upon it of the sacrifices made, lifelong friendships forged, as we can see that today, and the enduring spirit of HMS Rosy. We hope this becomes a place where thoughts bloom like wildflowers along the coast. Please observe now 1 minute's silence for shipmates and absent friends. Stand easy. before I finish, I'd like to thank Mr. Peter Atkins of Achievement Butte, Donna Young from Argyll and Butte Council Road and Amenity Services, Mrs. Ann Spears, committee and staff of the Rothesay Museum for the very kind loan of our ship's bell and crest for today's unveiling, and of course Rothesay and District Pipe Band, who have gone to the pub. Finally, to the people of Rothesay and the Isle of Bute for the warm welcome always received during our visits. Thanks, guys. Anybody want a song? No. That was your chance. Thanks, guys. Cheers. I don't know how I'm going to tone my voice down.
Commission the bench.
Wait, test the bench.
Wait, test the bench. Wait, test.
Balance it out. Balance it out. Stay there, lad. Stay there, my friend. Bell.